So, me and video games are currently in a loveless relationship, and rather than try and create an emotion where none exists, I've decided that I would talk about anime today. So, it's October, and I wanted to think of a show to talk about that didn't betray my feelings on horror, in that horror is usually really, really gross and just tough to look at, and not so much scary. And I was racking my head about shows that would not be that, but still fit the theme of October, and I think I've come across one that fits perfectly, actually. It came out in winter of 2020. It's called oh gosh, I knew I would mess that up. Kyokou Suiri, also known as Inspector. This is a pretty interesting show all in all, but I would say that its opening, it doesn't really fit the tone. I'm really not a fan of the opening cutscene, but the ending theme song, the ending credits are absolutely fantastic, and I highly recommend it. I'll kind of stray off of the summary for this show because it skips over things that I feel like are important and details things that I think that you should probably find out by watching it personally. Basically, the long and short of it is a girl, Kotoko Iwanaga, is abducted by yokai and is basically asked by them to become their quote-unquote god of wisdom. Essentially, she becomes an ambassador for all things supernatural and paranormal. The cost of this is that they take one of her legs and one of her eyes. This generates a little bit of mystery around her, as she obviously can't tell authorities in the hospital that it was some spirits who took her eye and her arm. But at the local hospital, she meets and kind of falls for a university student who just ended a long-term relationship. And she can tell that there's something supernatural about him, but she doesn't quite understand what it is. So, since she's basically the ambassador for these yokai, she asks for his help in dealing out any issues that she might encounter with them. Now, they do explain in episode 1 what his deal is, but I don't want to go into it here. I definitely think it's something that you should watch and find out for yourself. But one thing that I do want to make note of is that Kotoko makes a comment about his expression during a rather intense scene. High suspense, high stakes sort of scene. She comments that he's very indifferent and very stoic, but that's kind of like the running theme with all of the characters in this show, is that something about the way that they react to different situations, usually situations that pertain to them themselves, is just unnatural and a little unnerving. So if a character's describing their own experiences in the past, they have an expression that doesn't really line up with what you would expect it to be. But other characters, when they hear about those experiences, will usually react with some type of surprise or appropriate response. And that disconnect kind of furthers the mysterious, I don't want to keep saying the word mysterious, but there's this weird aura with all of the characters and the way that they interact with each other. And when you pair that with this kind of almost faded, I think that's an appropriate word, not faded, maybe washed out colors. It's almost like a haze that's over the visuals of the characters and the backgrounds at all times. And it's almost as if you're looking through some sort of fog, or like you're looking through a dream or something. and the visuals really reinforce the art style and this very, how do I'm running out of like descriptive words to use in place of mysterious, but it's very unnatural. But because it's intentional, it kind of sticks in my mind, at least personally. What I find particularly interesting is the cases, the characters don't magically find the proper answer to cases that they're investigating. Like, if there's no way for them to confirm whether or not they're right or wrong when it comes to one of their theories, then it just kind of, it stays speculation. They're not just going to all of a sudden trip over some evidence that just confirms everything that they've said to be 100% factual. And that's really interesting because it leads to a lot of situations where if you come to the conclusion at the same time or even before them, you don't feel dumb, or you don't feel like the show is holding out information that would have helped you, figure it out. And it's a rewarding experience for turning your brain on and actually trying to think alongside the characters. A lot of mystery anime really fail at that, where it's like, there's no way you could have solved this because one of the characters hid a knife off screen and nobody would have ever known except for the super mystery genius detective, So it's a satisfying show to watch, to not only try and figure out for yourself, but also kind of eerie in the way that the characters carry themselves. And it's something that I think that it kind of got skipped over last year, so I highly recommend you check that out if you're looking for something that is a unique type of unnerving. I don't really have any shows that I could even directly compare it to. Maybe, what's that one with Naru the narcissist? Not Ghost Hunter. Yeah, Ghost Hunter. Ghost Hunter kind of had it, but they took their comedy a little bit too far. Wait, hold on. It's not the name of the anime. Yeah, it's called Ghost Hunt. Yeah, Ghost Hunt had this issue of being a little hard to take serious sometimes with the way that the characters would joke with one another. And there is some lighthearted joking that takes place in Spectre. Because even the lighthearted moments that are supposed to be humorous always come off as a little bit suspect. Like, everybody in the show's got something to hide, or there's more to it than what they're letting on. So I highly recommend that you check this out. At least give the first episode a watch. Definitely check out that ending, because it is fantastic. I'm a big fan of the song and the way that the two main protagonists interact with each other, and it just fits much better than the opening theme. Let me know if you have any other shows that you think would fit the October theme down in the comments below, and I hope to see you guys in another video.